This winter has seemed harder than the first weeks of the invasion mentally.
Missiles keep flying as they have been. They're striking infrastructure. It's cold. There's no electricity.
There was no heating. It was cold.
But we stay strong in spirit.
The war here in Ukraine has now raged on for 4 years. But this past year, this past winter, have been the harshest people have felt. With the latest series of strikes carried out by Russia targeting the power infrastructure, this winter of war in Ukraine has been different than any in the past.
Why did we come here? To warm up because it's cold. Now the heating have been turned on, but it's still not really warm yet.
And now we have electric stoves, not gas, to cook or even just to heat food. There's no tea. We're drinking tea here, warming ourselves up.
How has this winter of war compared to the last 3?
It's tough. First of all, there are more bombings, more destruction. Homes weren't heated. There were no heating. It was cold in the apartments. It was 3 degrees Celsius. Now it's warmed up a bit, 10 degrees. That's still not warm.
But we stay strong in spirit. There's no hot water.
We fill bottles, put them under the covers at night, and warm ourselves. Because at 10 degrees, you won't get warm.
And the cat beside us.
And the cat under the side.
It warms us.
In this part of Kyiv, there are apartment buildings as far as the eye can see, thousands of units. Many of them don't have power. Without power, there's no hot coffee, there's no cooking, there's no warm meals. Many have had to resort to coming to makeshift warming stations, such as this one, just to get those bare necessities. This is the side of war that you don't often see. When you cast aside the negotiations and the geopolitics, at its most fundamental level, you see people trying to survive a cold winter, lining up for food just to get through the day.
A terrible situation, in the sense that missiles keep flying as they have been. They're striking infrastructure. It's cold. There's no electricity. But we're holding on, and every day we move toward victory. No. Just like people in the Donetsk region thought it would only last a few weeks, we thought that all those boutiques would pull out of Russia and they would come to their senses. But there's nothing to talk about with them. They don't understand what's going on. They don't realize it would be better if they used the money for their own good. Instead, they want us to live worse than they do. Back then, I didn't think it would last this long. How much longer will it go on? I think at least another year for sure. If support does not stop, then this will definitely continue for at least another year.
I was hoping that you could just share to the American public what things have been like here these last few nights as we approach the 4-year anniversary of this war.
I mean, it's difficult to speak about these things because the way the human brain seems to work in wartime is that you completely kind of divorce yourself from the immediate environment and you try not to think about things. But really, I think it's kind of an unimaginable toll that the war is taking on Ukrainians mentally. I'm starting to see cracks in all my family members and my friends. we're all just trying to get through a single day at a time, if that. That's planning long term, thinking about what you're going to do in the evening. It's really just survival mode. And the thing that I think a lot of foreigners, Americans don't necessarily realize is that your life doesn't stop when the war is going on. You still have to take kids to school, you still have to go to classes, to work, make food, just do those daily normal things. And in a way, that's actually what keeps you going, because you have tiny tasks to focus on. But on the other hand, everything becomes so much harder mentally. Living in constant fear is starting to take a real toll on everyone. I'm 27 and I've recently been diagnosed with high blood pressure. So it's tough. Yeah.
You mentioned the cracks that you're seeing in some of your loved ones.
Yeah.
When people in the West hear that, they sometimes think that means, the Ukrainians are ready to give up. Are those the same thing or no?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's more from the perspective of mental health issues. But when some of my foreigner friends ask me, how do you guys keep going? The answer is we don't have a choice not to. Nobody's willing to give up. We're 4 years in. It would be silly and frankly maybe even stupid to give up now. And I think it's a contentious issue to think about, what do we want to do with territories? How many human lives are worth land? But on the other perspective, if you give Russia an inch, they're going to take a mile. That's kind of the way people are thinking here. Yeah.
Did you ever think it would last this long?
No, I think if somebody went back in time and told, 20-year-old me that we'd still be here 4 years later, it would be unimaginable. And the funny thing is, my mom and I, we recently were talking about that this winter has seemed harder than the first weeks of the invasion mentally. I remember back then we were seeing on Telegram news about huge Russian losses in terms of manpower, in terms of equipment, and it was so encouraging, and we really felt like this could end quickly. But 4 years in, this winter, when we've all been living in extremely cold temperatures in my apartments, my mom is actually currently living with me because it's about 8 degrees in her apartment. In the darkness, in the cold, you can't even have hot meals most of the time. This winter has been that much harder than those first few weeks because we really felt like there is a chance things could end relatively quickly.
Do you see this ending anytime soon?
I think we don't let ourselves think about that, the possibility that it might not happen. It's kind of closing your eyes to reality maybe sometimes a little bit and just holding out hope that if we just make it one more day, everything ends eventually, and this will too. We don't really see any other option. I don't see any other option. I can't imagine my life in anywhere other than independent and free Ukraine. So personally, I know it's different for everyone. Some people have loved ones on the front lines. Well, most people do, and it's a different kind of calculus. But I think for me personally, I'm just gonna, if I have to live in the cold and the dark, I'll do it for as long as I personally have to, and that's all I can do in this circumstance.
This year, the bombings were really heavy.
They should close the sky over Ukraine.
Then it would be better. Right now, you go to sleep not knowing if you'll wake up or not. We believe in victory.
As we said, we stay positive and believe in victory. Ukraine will win.
When spring comes, it will be warmer, life will be easier, it won't be so cold. And most importantly, there must be peace.